What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another VOD breakdown. Today, we're going to be talking about PRX versus G2. I mean, this matchup has been going on for so long now. I mean, it almost feels scripted at this rate, but G2 actually going to come up on top in terms of PRX in a pretty dominant fashion today. The games were, I wouldn't say necessarily close, but it wasn't blowouts by any means, but G2 sticking to the fundamentals. Okay, winning pistol rounds, using ultimates in good fashion. Okay, relying on team play over anything else. It's kind of like an easy win. I think that this is a really good matchup for G2. I have no problem saying it, just being honest. I think that PERIPHERALS have really just like lost their identity as a team. This like W gaming thing really like existed with like Harbor and Sky being played like a little bit more. Those agents really catered to like their agent pool, and I think they had like some pretty good understandings of how they wanted to play maps and what they wanted to do. But with the meta change, with some new maps introduced, I don't really think that they're that team for me anymore. I think the region they play in, they can kind of like smurf and like bully a lot of teams that they play, and they can pretty consistently get into like the top, 3 and 4 conversations. So qualifying for champs, I wouldn't go as far as say is easy, but I think it's a much simpler path than it is in some other regions. And then you look at a team like Gen G, who really looks like lights out in terms of like their game plans, how they play, the compositions that they run. It looks like they really understand it. PRX really isn't there for me. We're going to talk about it more on LOTUS when we do see it. At the end of the day, they are running a pretty standard comp here, where I think that, not that it's a bad thing that Jing's playing Sage, but at the end of the day, he might be like a little limited in this regard. I do like the Battle Sage approach. G2 still sticking to their no duelist comp here, the double initiator, double controller. And I think that their game plan that we're going to see on this pistol round here is to manipulate rotations and kind of like take away at the fact that PERIPHERALS really loves to like run around and just fight. So we're gonna go ahead and start this now. Trent's going to get ready to dart B main for control,
you wouldn't think that this was a
where
team
Valon's going to start.
Ascension,
So I think the goal here right now is to basically make it seem like, they're taking B main, right? So there's no follow-up other than this utility, outside like maybe like a gunshot or two. What's going to happen is Valon, who's a pretty big tell, IGLs love to be involved. They love to be involved in the play. I think Josh and Valon's game plan here has something to do with the tendency of what Valon does. Okay, it can also be Icy. I think Valon and Icy are always involved in the pack. They're always involved what's going on, so they're going to try to like manipulate the way that PRX are game planning against them, and they're going to like cause the rotation here. So dodging the dart here is Icy, trying to make it seem like A's clear, holding the push. Okay, Jonah walking up with Leaf and Trent making no noise. The Dizzy's going to come out lower, and when that happens, Harbor is going to get ready to drop after he throws his cascade here, and then he's going to get ready to high tide and make it seem like this A site is getting hit like really hard. What's interesting in terms of the investment here is the fact that Mindfreak has a Sheriff. So I think his idea here is that the Orb or maybe the Molly wouldn't get full value against the Gecko, so putting the Wingman in a position where that isn't could be like pretty counterable. And then the fact that if he did have a one-way here, he wouldn't really be able to properly contest it with like a Harbor and like a Gecko online. I don't really think it's like possible for him to hold. So I do like that the Deagles are coming out into play here. And then Jing has his wall online, able to retake. So usually, if you're gonna go B, the wall is gonna go something like this, and you're gonna be able to defuse the bomb. On A, you can use it to wall the left or the right, and kind of like mess up their push and make it easier, and you can funnel them to the spots where you want to be. So again, G2 do like a good job here of just like taking their time. I think they're kind of like owning them a little bit in like the calling. Wingman coming out, who usually carries the bomb, right? Gecko, that's the correct answer. So 4 people towards A right now. Solo B player begins to move over. Perfect call from Valon and the boys again. Really, really easy. So even though they did cut noise, Jing here's the runaway. He needs to call that he knows what's going on now. They're looking for the molly here. They find it. Trent is a dart to get the bomb down. Holding for him. Got to be able to back up. So really good start for G2 here. PRX are kind of scrambling. Mid-sight's a possibility. Orange is a possibility. Looks like they're going to try to dive on the bomb here and put a wall down. Now what I really don't like coming out from Devi is tapping here, right? When you tap the bomb in a situation like this, all it's going to do is it's going to basically provoke everybody to start fighting. Okay, the flash is going to come through. 2, 3 people are going to peek at once. If someone's flanking, he's probably going to speed up his flank. I really don't like that he tapped here. I think they could have slowed it down and taken their time and got into forward positions, like maybe just like dry contacting this yellow area, right? Maybe like dry contacting this top white area, and then when you have 1, 2, maybe 3 people taking those fights, Now Jing can put a wall on the bomb and he can just defuse. So then they have to go through the players, then they have to go through the wall, right? And it's hard to do that when you're on classics. So I really don't like that there. Tap, the fight comes through, the wall's down, there's a gap in it, he didn't take his time with it, they're jumping on it, they're not letting him get close. Jing doesn't even have his gun out here. 4 kills in the way of G2, 2 kills in the way of PRX. It just really wasn't close. So after winning against G2's bonus with a nice first blood coming in from something, okay, we're just going to make a call here that we're going to do our set Gecko ult play, and we're going to get into our post plan. As you can see, the wall has adjusted here, right? So to me, the reason that he threw this wall is because they're intentionally planning to retake B. As you can see, we have 4 people on A, so it does like make sense. The reason the wall isn't on A is because there's 4 people. You don't need a wall on the bomb site when you have 4 people. You want those 4 people fighting, not playing around the wall. So a little bit of a tell there in terms of the setup. Not necessarily that's a bad thing, but this is kind of like what I mean with PRX. I feel like they don't really have like these like great plans and protocols in terms of what they're supposed to do in certain situations. It's a lot of free balling. It's a lot of I feel like doing this, so I'm going to do it. I can't actually like pin down what it is. It's just not consistent. And a team like G2 is going to beat that every single time. So we're going to fast forward a little bit here because we're not really interested about the hit itself. We're interested in what PRX are going to do in terms of a retake. So with the bomb going down, okay, let's go ahead and check the spread here, right? So number 1, we're in a 2-2-1 setup, which means there's no strong side and there's also no weak side, right? There's no side that's stronger than another. There's no side that's weaker than another. Okay, the reason that the 1 is in a weak side right now is because he's using his drone for himself. Okay, he's confident in the ability that no one's pushed up Snowman. He's not actually scared. Okay, soon enough he's going to get up into the position and he's going to start angling out. So that's a huge problem for me, right? If we're playing to retake B, against a heavy, against a team who can really deny the plant, swarms, mosh, okay, being online, shocks online, Amali online, they don't actually know what G2 used. So I like the idea to flank, but if we are going to flank, I want it to be a strong side, at least 3 players where we can run in and like trade out, okay, and then we could potentially use the wall for something unique. If we don't have the luxury to do that for whatever reason, right, maybe something can solo flank, Jing can go back into the bomb site, we operate in a small 1-3-1 style retake where maybe Jing can put a wall down, tap the bomb without even the intent to defuse, right? He just instantly scares the shit out of G2, and then something can potentially make a play on a flank. But we have, again, 2 or 3 sets of people who are just making their own play on their own timing, and it makes no sense at all. Slowly contacting up on the bot. The bomb site people aren't pressured at all. They have the option to just turn around and fight the flank. So here's a 4v2. Jing trying to hide from it, something running away and baiting him. Easy 2k, 5v3 now. All we got to do is stop the bomb from being defused. Jonah's going to sit, wall drops. He isn't good for 1, but the swarm's on. He knows they can't be on. Time getting low. G2 in the double man advantage. Not really much more you can do here. Okay, almost a flawless round. PRX, are you even trying? Or are you guys just entertainers? So here's a nice example of what I'm talking about with like player freedom and kind of just like doing what we want when we feel like it. Mindfreak's going to end up Vipers pitting the bomb site here under the impression that they're trying to plant on B. So G2 are trying to push up and spam him here. Leaf has the option of the Killjoy ult. Okay, so he's going to drop it to take away this default space, this backside space. Mindfreak is going to have to make a decision here. Okay, first of all, you're not a solo player, so I don't need you to back up and hide in kitchen, okay? What can actually be good is you picking a spot, maybe back site, to hide in your ult, and you take the risk, you take the gamble that they aren't going to be there, right? The reason that I think that this is okay is because you don't really have an orb, okay, here to retake with. You don't have a wall here to retake with. I don't think your life is as valuable as you're making it. I would rather you make the situation much, much more difficult for the enemy. So again, you're thinking, well, if one person gets detained, they obviously know that he's hiding in the ult. They're just going to run at it and kill him, right? Again, it's a risk. I understand that it's not the absolute best play in the entire world, but sitting in a position like here, backside, okay, where if someone were to run in the ult and find Mindfreak, 2 people can be Snowman and they can spam off of what he sees on the minimap. Ping, ping, right here, default, against the back of the wall, whatever it is. Okay, he can punish people from like going forward. I don't necessarily know who that would be in that situation on G2, but at the end of the day, it's an option they have other than just forfeiting all this space. I don't like retaking like with an operator, right? I don't like retaking against G2's, cringe post plants where they just like abuse fundamentals and like up things of the game. So gonna have to run away, forfeit the default space here.
And I think that
Orb's gonna be
the pit's gonna drop
popped.
because of it.
Yeah, I don't think
Doesn't
there
even
shouldn't be
connect to
enough time for him
default.
get back into
Wingman's
that,
gonna
so
go into
that's such a
plant.
huge
No molly,
removing that
shocks,
from
nothing
play.
to break it.
There's a
They go for a
lockdown on the other
spam,
side.
still
This is
can't
just-
get it.
Well, what I like to call
Counter
the
pit
observer's
comes in
nightmare.
here.
Ultimates being used all over the shop.
Alt from backside
get
is
the
going to
third
take away
person
just
down.
about
They
all
knew
the
what
space,
was
but a
done for
little
them,
corner
but
in
I do
yellow.
believe just with the
Jonah's
quality,
going to have the
he might be
luxury
able
to
hold
sit
on
in
to
his
this
ultimate
I
here to
feel
keep
like
his gas
G2
up.
are gonna try and
Valen
do
does a
that.
great job at
They
cutting
are,
off
they
a
are, but you can
piece
see the
of
pace
yellow
of
here that he
Reflex.
can
They
play
wanna
behind
compete
with his
for that
wall.
back angle.
Again, something
Haven't
can't
had
push
any
with his
success.
op. Jing's going by himself. Everybody else is just standing back and trying to spam. There's no direction. There's no sense. It's just up in the air, and they just hope that they can get the job done. And it just isn't a good look at all. It's just going to end up having to be a save, keeping something's operator. G2 are going to continue having a good attack half. So here we are talking about the battle sage earlier. Ways to get involved, ways to like mix it up. Check out the
I don't
angle
think
that
PERIPHERALS is gonna be too worried about this.
Jing is going to be on here. So
Just
he's on a
yet,
really high backside
especially
wall
having
there.
that additional
Leaf's going to
duelist.
tap him out.
I am starting to think
Check out the
about how many
tech.
times-
I really don't like the ADSing here though. I don't really know what it accomplishes. This isn't like a crazy distance angle. Yes, like the height is different, but I can't have him in the ADS here. I need him taking his time and tapping out these opponents. Watch how long it takes him to even like connect onto them here.
Seen that
Just like actually he doesn't even connect. He's just kind of like aimlessly like spraying almost. I mean I just don't think that's a fight that he should be taking. Or sorry, that's not the way he should be taking the fight that he's in. The wall boost is great, good off angle. They didn't expect it. Leaf ends up just winning a gunfight because Jing whiffs. We need to see him convert those. I'm not really against the idea that PRX have here, even though something's on full armor and a guardian right now. He's trying to pick up this orb, I guess, to deny Leaf from getting his ult. This could be some sort of like counter strat or tendency that they have where when Leaf is one off ult, they know that they go A or something like that. But just watch the way that they do it. Orb tap, running away with Jing in the open with Rez. Forsaken gets one, stays on the same angle, gets traded. So a 5v3 there. G2 easily trades out. Gonna have a completely empty bomb site with a killjoy, and they're just gonna be able to convert this one again by PERIPHERALS just kind of gifting it to him. I don't really understand how they're not on the same page and what something is doing in that situation. On the back of a Mind Freak clutch, completely shifting the momentum. PERIPHERALS have the chance to run away with this game. They're going to go up against an eco round, and they're just going to forget everything on how to play an eco round. I mean, I just don't even, I can't even comprehend the approach here. Okay, first of all, what is this, right? A defender wall that extends all the way through A main, a little spot in nest, a little spot on pipes. I mean, this is just crazy work. We need to sniff this out and take our time. Okay, drop the W gaming like content creator, like fan base, stuff. Like just stop. I think you're here to win, hey, maybe that's just what I would try to do, right? Check the pathing here. Something wide swinging out lower, taking just huge risk, like getting like caught off here. No real reason to come out lower on this map. You can always just go up the belt and you can drop safely, and you can get here without getting caught off by any top pipe, any top gen positions, anyone making a play in the nest or like the lower spot here. So pretty interesting to see him just carelessly do that. Looks like he's trying to get the stats back up since he's 13 and 12 right now. Valen's going to get in a forward position. He's going to get a first blood off of the utility here. Or sorry, he's going to get killed. Icy's going to get the trade. 4v4 here with Divide being dead. Exactly what the casters are saying. Okay, turret broken. Someone can be flanking. I guess they don't really expect it because they saw so many people fighting here. I believe that they saw 4. So they think that Leaf is a weak side player. Maybe he just sits here and waits garage. Maybe he just stands under tube and holds the cross, makes sure that we don't leave. Leaf takes a great timing here. Okay, PRX running up. Jing's one off of his ult here. Once they get control of the orb here, Leaf is kind of going to park, and once he sees that the ult has come online, he's just going to sit. He grabs the gun, he's going to wait. Something is going to updraft. He's not really going to check under him. Trade missed. Pretty insane round from Leaf, I'm not going to lie. I think Forsaken and Jing had a chance to trade him there, but he's going to drop Mind Freak down to 30 HP. And again, this is all behalf of the laziness here. Divide didn't even have to die in this situation. His teammates just got into a stupid position, and he panicked, thought he had to fight. He gets caught off, and it just is completely just blown out of proportion. We'll revisit it one more time while we watch Mind Freak, attempt to win this out. He's eventually going to walk into Jonah's crosshair here, and all that momentum is just completely sucked away from PRX. PRX. A huge clutch on the last round just to get ecoed. You know, it's not some insane clutch that happened on the eco, right? It's just a basic setup, a 4-1 trap, right? So pay attention to Divai's position here. He's the belt guy, right? So once the contact happens lower, Divai just, for whatever reason, just wide swings. And he's going into an up-down. Look at Jonah and Icy here. He's going into an up-down setup on Deagles, right? He's swinging out wide. No reason for to do this. Here's the assist from Jonah. Here's the killing blow from Icy. I mean, just help me understand, because I don't. So let's check out the retake approach here from G2. Okay, I previously complained about PRX when they did a shitty 2-2-1 split, where on their retake it looks like they're lost and they've never been coached before in their entire life. G2, complete opposite, okay? We have a nice 3-2 here. We have a strong side and we have a weak side, okay? The strong side is going to accomplish something. The weak side is going to gather info and assess kind of like what their best option is here. So the pit's going to go down. The bomb's been planted. Okay, they've already gotten close on the alarm bot in that timing. The ult is popped. Forsaken getting caught out here. 5v4. Okay, look at the weak side players now. Do you see how they're not pushing out? The reason they're not pushing out is because there's no real resistance yet on the strong side. They haven't met 3 people fighting them, right? There's no one really fighting us right now. Just wait a second. Let us keep going. Let us keep playing with the harbor ult. So 5v4 flushing out something here. 5v3, nice trades coming out. 3v2 winnable. Jing just tripping and falling over this rope. I don't really know what's going on there. Mindfreak left alone in the bomb site. The Thrash is the biggest weakness on this team. You have something knife out running away in a previous round, letting Jing get detained. Here you have Jing knife out, tripping, falling over the rope and the ice wall, trying to upgrade his gun, letting Mindfreak get detained here, and the round just go to shit. That's just unacceptable, man. Big kill there. Trades come through from G2. They're going to go up to 10, and they're looking really drilled.
Nope, not going to be anything. And it's the same again. No.
Alright, so after beating PRX on their map pick of ICEBOX, pretty bad. Okay, PRX are now going to get sent to LOTUS here, where they have constantly shown that they don't really know, what they're doing or what their approach is. Previously, they had a Breach Sky comp with Jet and Raze. Now they're on a KO Fade comp with Neon and Jet. I don't understand what this is supposed to be. I don't know what this comp is supposed to do. The Fade and the KO, is this meant to counter ciphers? Is that what the idea is? If you go to vlr.gg, a website you can access for free anywhere in the world, you can actually see that G2 isn't going to run a cipher. They've run the same comp ever since the map was been created. And if you were going to counter a cipher, I feel like your composition should be Mindfreak on Omen, something on Breach, Divai on Killjoy, Forsaken Yoru, and then Jing on Raze. So you have a nice combo here where these guys can go brain dead, sicko mode, and they can just run around and do shit, okay? Divai can play Killjoy. He's done it before. Something can play Breach, and he actually is pretty good at it. And then Mindfreak's your consistent smokes player. I don't understand why they have to make this so hard on themselves. No info sentinel on LOTUS. I mean, it's literally playing the game on hard mode. They're at such a huge disadvantage. Hey, something. Get 27 kills this game with 11 first bloods, and we'll win. If not, maybe we can win map 3. Like, what? Like, it just makes no sense to me. It doesn't really matter to me about the tech, the approach. I just think that you're going to be limited consistently playing composition like this. Jonah P is just limit testing with the Deagle. Huge shot there onto Divide. Bomb is going to drop. It's going to instantly kind of like reposition here.
Yeah, I mean, last map,
ends up backing up and just staying stairs because he doesn't want to get caught off by a heaven push. PRX going to have to invest a good amount of utility here. Nice scaling. Good smokes. 5v4 here. How do you want to decide to take risk? G2 are actually going to beat you over there, and they're not going to let you do it. So the tether nade is going to go into pit with the blind coming heaven. Missed trade there. G2 understand that the fight was happening in heaven. The strong side was toward heaven, right? So they instantly react to the other side. Now they're ready. Now they're ready to go, and the smokes are kind of like dropping. Jonah, just unbelievable round so far here, getting huge kills. First blood was insane, but those two are, equally nuts. Icy's gonna die here to Forsaken. Jonah's still good for 1. I mean, just buy the G2 Classic, right? These guys are one of the highest, if not the best, pistol round team in the game. I mean, they don't mess around in these rounds. That's why they win so many matches. This, to me, is forfeiting. I think that this is the equivalent of giving up. I don't know who they scrim against to where this works, but when the bomb goes down on the pistol round and the defenders still win, commonly, okay, the attackers have the option to force, which is what we're going to see coming out here from PRX. The reason that I call this suicide is simply because they're going to rush B instantly. There's no like rotation manipulation. There's no like pop surprise play that's happening. It's just a total rush. Okay, first of all, you have two people on this team who like to use shotguns. Okay, you have another player on G2 who likes to use the outlaw. On this map, usually the Viper wall is going to be defaulted here, where it covers B, the outside A, and the tree room entrance. And commonly, the fade and raze will also start towards B, trying to combo a tether nade. So like 3 to 4 really bad options, really bad things can happen right now, and they just decide to force and rush B instantly anyway, and they're gonna be like confused that it didn't work. And they're going to completely throw away the half. This is an attack-sided map. The knife is going to get no ping. The prowler's going to go. Something's going to dash in with a flash. Counter util coming in. Devour the Knight's first blood there. Trent getting 2. Icy playing off of his nade. 4v3 now. Backing up, waiting for teammates to regroup, taking his time. Prowler coming out. Lower swing comes through. Stinger's getting value, nice and close. But G2 have the man advantage. They have the util advantage. They get him trapped in these spots. And now PRX is going to have to save, and G2 are going to run away with this game using ults and bolstering their economy. So after doing a little bit of A control here, PRX are now grouping up towards C. They're going to get Forsaken's KO ult, and they're going to hit the bomb site, right? What are the options that we have with the KO ult? Okay, first of all, the KO ult can lead. He can literally human drone all the way into the bomb site, because if he dies, we can res him, right? No one needs to die for that, number one. Number two, Mind Freak is about to throw smoke that I have never seen in my entire life, and I don't think that I will see it ever again. It looks like the intention of this smoke, I'm going to draw it here before we see it, he's going to place it right about there. It looks like the intention of this smoke is to block off waterfall site to where, that's a little like wide, let me redraw this a little smaller, right about there is where it's going to be. So it looks like his intention is to block off the site of waterfall where people can scale bend and they can get ready to push spawn, okay? So let's take a look at the scaling and like see how that works for a team like PRX. Let's see how drilled they are on this site hit. Ult's going to come online. Dart's going to go through with a flash, something with an updraft dash. Jing is just not taking any space. Okay, so Jing is literally sitting on the box right here as Neon, and he is just a spectator. So we had 2 people swinging spawn with 5 alive. And I'm going to draw a little line here. This yellow line is going to be the control of the bomb site division. So this is your G2 side. This is your PRX side. Okay. Take a look at how little space they have. Take a look at just how uncoordinated and crap this is. Mind you, G2 can't use any abilities right now, right? The KO is pulsing. There's no Omen Blight. There's no Killjoy util. Okay, there's no Decay from Viper util. There's no Molly that they're running through. You know, no. These are just dry fights. So 1 by 1. Okay, Forsaken just planning. Jing is still sitting in that spot. Just sitting here doing nothing, and he's gonna die to Jonah, rightfully so. I mean, Jonah is just Mr. Consistency, okay, the professor. It's about time that this guy gets some, like, recognition. He's been doing this for literally years, man, on every team that he's played on. And almost a flawless retake from G2. Not using a single ult.
Covering it from up top, though. Now they maintain their control, slow the push from PERIPHERALS, send them in the other direction, but Jonah P waiting as usual on a sliver of HP.
Where's the discipline, man? Where is just the patience? Blinded off the line, hiding from a dart, smoke landing in your face, after your teammate gets a first blood. Like, is that not just the most tilting thing in the entire world? Like, you get a first blood or you put your team in an advantage situation, and then some idiot in your ranked game just like over peaks or like throws it away. Like, bro, like the information processing level. Hello. Like, we're in the man advantage something. Hey, the game's not over, buddy. We just started a little slow. You know, you don't have to forfeit and run it down. You know what I mean? Like, this is your actual, like, lurking jet ranked teammate that you're, like, pissed off at, bro. It's just unbelievable. So, the man advantage, back to even now. Icy with the rocket online. Pressure's coming into C now. Forsaken isn't going to use his KO ult to entry because he's intentionally saving it for Icy's rocket. So I do like that. You know, he doesn't waste it. There's still a flash online that they can use. Trent, just such an annoying Odin player, always doing good chip damage here. Icy reveals himself with the Roomba. Forsaken's making sure he's in a position where he can get that ping off and make sure that he can't rocket. Here it is. Rocket's going to go away. Jing peeking just a little too early there. Icy with a huge multi-kill in this round, putting them in the 4v2 here. He's going to lead since he's on 1 HP. He's going to say, trade me, trade me. Leaf's going to knock Forsaken. Devi's going to make a nice attempt there, but G2 are up to 7 now. Thank you, something. Keep up the good work, brother. I do want to talk about one thing before we get into this round. I think a lot of people maybe can just like be confused on what I mean by like a momentum shift. So being down 10-3 in this game, PRX actually win an eco round, okay, thriftying G2, making it 10-4, and now the game is 11-8, right? So this is what I mean when I'm talking about clutching, getting thriftied, how it like changes the momentum of the game, the tides turn, right? So this is kind of like what I'm talking about here, scoreline wise. Unfortunately, we're going to have to pick on our good friend Something here once again. I think Valorant has a horrible, horrible recency bias. Everybody overinflates the value of a player or a pro on a team when they're doing good and they're winning. And then on the other end of it, when they aren't, I mean, they're showing up with the pitchforks, the torches. They want the guy killed because they, lost their bet. It's like crazy work. So I think we can kind of like hold something to that here. Again, I like the idea that this guy can play multiple agents. I don't really want to credit this loss directly to him, but I do think that he's a huge part of it. So we already had the problem with him peeking through the one-way over here and throwing that round away. Just take a second and watch how he plays his operator, okay, and his kit against an eco round after a C push happens, confirming that G2 are going to speed up into A, okay? And I want you to try to explain, or at least think about the thought process, right? I'm not trying to belittle people here. I'm not trying to tell you that people are bad. I'm trying to just educate people on what to do, what not to do, what the team could have done, what they should have done, how they should have played it, whatever it might be, right? So here we are, okay? Going for a timing peek with dash, sitting waiting for someone to peek, has to break his own Roomba, updraft dash, getting out. Thumbs up, right? You bought a little time, you got out the Roomba, you've got out the satchels, you got out the paranoia. We will take that, man. That is a net positive. A $150 updraft and a rechargeable ability used. Now you get out and play the weak side, okay? Sit over here, hold for a peek back sight with your op. Wait a minute, what are you doing? You're not W gaming, are you? You're not going to drop into pit with no updraft and dash against an eco at 121, are you? Something? Isn't this supposed to be one of the best players in the world? Like, no, dude. Like, let's get real for a second, man. This is a absolute horrible play. This is one of the worst plays I've ever seen. This guy should be fined for this. This is fucking ridiculous, dude. Whiffing, hoping for the push with the shorty. I'm not even mad at Forsaken dying like that. It looks like he's trying to run out and help him. He knows something is stuck. Icy with a huge 2K. Rocket online. Pit online. Jing, 8 and 18, who's probably being blamed for this game. Okay, 8 and 18 on Neon. He's probably going to get blamed for this game on VLR. But what they don't know is that Something is officially joining G2 as their 6th man. I mean, he was a huge factor in G2 winning this game so easily. He gifts them rounds, he gifts them guns, he gifts them ults. I mean, he's fucking Santa. He's Saint Nick. It's fucking Christmas, man. I'm just happy to be able to see it, man. What a giving, generous person he is, man. I mean, an absolute standout individual. Pistols on 11-8. You're on a huge comeback, huge momentum shift, but you can't tame your ego. You have no discipline. You wander out in the open with your op. You're lucky enough to get away, and then you just give it back to him. Devi looking for some exit frags here, trying to damage G2's economy since they're going to go up to 12. And I mean, here we are, man. Match point. You know what this round reminds me of? This round actually reminds me of one of those like Kai Cenat like sleepover streams where he invites a bunch of like funny people over and then they just like clip farm and like act out a bunch of like preset stuff and it's just like non-stop funny. Just take a look how a championship level team in PRX plays a 5v4 ready to be eliminated and sent down into the lowers of their group, okay? So first of all, in a man advantage like this, you can forfeit space, okay, because you're up, right? You can get in a position where people can move over and you can be in a fast retake knowing that the players are in a limited amount of space, okay? Stun online, flash on live, dart, tether, okay? Everything but the paranoia, right? I really like their odds here. That was a nice first blood they got onto Jonah in a lobby extension. G2 ready to come into the bomb site here. Devi is beta testing console Valorant right now. His controller just disconnected. He's like, oh shit, I'm out of batteries. Can I get a battery pack? I mean, like, what is this? Who did you slip? How did you get here? Why are you pushing out of a smoke with your Odin? This is the last thing you should ever do in this situation. So now he's gonna die. Jing is gonna get confused. Okay, he's basically one hit right now. So Icy has a really good gunfight against him. Okay, he's gonna drop. So now a 5v4 right for PRX has just easily turned, okay, to a 4v3 for G2. Okay, everybody's like, huh? Forsaken, Mindfreak are like, huh? Like, we weren't even over there. Why are you guys going? Why are you trying to retake by yourselves? Just wait for us. Just wait for us. Here's a util combo here from G2. Tether nade. Mindfreak, enjoy, brother. Stink bomb. Something walks out on timing and dies. Forsaken down to the 1v4. Just so disappointed in his team. And then Alex is probably going to slam his desk and throw his headset, you know, trying to, you know, engagement bait on Twitter. I mean, well done. I feel like a lot of times the analysis, it's a little analysis centered. A lot of times in it, I'm being funny, and then there's a kind of like rare medium where I'm so personally offended from watching a team or players play at the level that they are, just so terribly, just literally embarrassing to anyone who's a fan of the organization at just watching this. I feel bad. And I have to come across like this. So first of all, PRX extremely disappointing. Their comp troubles still exist. They can play standard compositions like this, and they can kind of like fall apart on their own map pick, and then they can play crazy, wacky stuff that makes no sense to me, and they still can't convert maps. This team kind of needs like a rehaul. I think that this will be the end of the roster, no matter how far they go in this. You know, I'm sure they might keep like a core of players. I don't necessarily know who that will be, but at the end of the day, this is the end for these guys. And it's the same way that I view Sentinels. I think tenz will probably retire this year, realistically. Some players are kind of like limited, and I feel like they're very exhausted or tired of being in settings like this. I don't necessarily think that this is the same for PRX, but at the end of the day, I don't think that this 5 can work together. And I know that PRX's goal, you know, is to not be, you know, incompetent. You know, they want to win championships. So hats off to G2 today. Again, playing a really great series. Leaf, best Sentinel in NA, you know, showing it today, just like unleashing the wrath on these guys. Pretty quiet day from Jing and something. People usually normally see take over like the server, but in terms of the first deaths, I mean, this just, you know, goes to show like how sloppy and crap that these guys played today. I mean, it really does. Jing 15 first engagements, only with 4 first kills. Okay, Devi, Mindfreak, and Forsaken a little high for me, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're converting them, but they're not converting them. Everybody's positive on G2 except for Valen in terms of first deaths, and they were all fragging and involved today. So this was just a complete outclassing. G2 has a really good matchup in PaperX. They're a drilled, fundamental-oriented team. PaperX runs around like it's a ranked game, and they don't actually give a shit. You know, they're just playing for fun, I guess. So, you know, with this Group D, everybody called Group B like the group of death. To be honest with you, I think it's Group D. PaperX I know is a really good team, and they have really high highs and low lows. G2 really like shining right now, trying to prove people wrong. EDG, number 1 team in China, and then you have Foot, super underrated team coming out of EMEA. So, you know, we're really going to see who goes the distance here. In terms of pick'ems, I had G2 and Foot qualifying. I'm not really sure. You know, Foot was kind of like a crazy pick for me, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. I got more coming. I'm covering all of VALORANT Champions. If you didn't know, I read all the comments, so please leave a comment, a suggestion, something positive, something hateful. I actually read them all. I don't really care. You know, I appreciate any insight and feedback that I get, so thank you for watching. I do stream on Twitch. Make sure you guys are followed along down there with all the socials that are linked in the description down below. I appreciate you tuning in again. I will see you guys in the next video. T-Dog out of here. Deuces.